So now let us look into this problem in which they have given us some informations about the cell reaction, right. Let us represent the cell in which following reaction takes place, right. What they have given is cell reaction is already given, which is magnesium S. If S is there, that means magnesium solid metal, which means it is a pure metal which is a solid. Magnesium metal plus silver ion 2 times. What is the concentration of silver ion? 0.01 molar, already given or not, is getting converted into magnesium plus 2 ion. Its concentration is 0.13 molar along with silver solid, which means pure, right. So now calculate its cell potential if standard cell potential value is this much. They have given you standard cell potential, they have given you concentrations of reactants and products, right. So what you have to do, write the Nernst equation for a cell. This side Nernst equation was for electrode, the other side Nernst equation was for cell. Write this equation, substitute the things correctly, and what you will get is cell potential. Now let us look into substitution part, right. Let me also ask you to write cell representation from this cell reaction, right. Cell reaction is given, how to write cell representation? By looking at this reaction, it is becoming clear to you that magnesium metal is undergoing oxidation, is it? And silver ion is undergoing reduction, is it? Right. So magnesium is undergoing oxidation, means magnesium is anode. Silver ion is undergoing reduction, means silver is the cathode, right. So now let us represent cell reaction. Cell representation is this: magnesium single line, its ion, then comes double line. What is the ion of single line? Silver. This is the cell representation. This is anode, this is cathode. Now let us write the Nernst equation for this. Cell potential is equal to standard cell potential minus 0.059 by n. What is the value of n? How many electrons are lost or gained? Magnesium is losing 2 electrons, and the same 2 electrons are getting accepted by 2 silver ion. One silver ion accepts 1 electron, other silver ion accepts another electron. So number of electrons 2. Log of pure metal concentration will always be 1, so leave it. Left with this ion and that ion only. Who is the product here? Magnesium plus 2 is the product. And who is the reactant? Ag plus is the reactant. How many times Ag is taken? 2 times. So whenever your number of ions are twice, it should be taken as power. If 2 ions, that means power should be taken as 2, right. So now let us substitute this. E cell, do you know? You don't know. E0 cell value is already given as 3.17 minus 0.059 by 2 log of magnesium ion concentration is 0.13, silver ion concentration is 0.001, power 2, right, whole square it is. Now substituting 0.025 and now 0.001 becomes 3.17 minus 0.025 log 0.13 divided by 0.001 means 0.01, right? Now by calculating this, you will get the value for E cell, right? You do substitution by using logarithms value, you will get E cell. Let us look at the other problem by using the other type of equation, okay? Suppose if this is the Nernst equation which you have seen in the previous problem, 0.059 by n log of, what was the product there? Magnesium plus 2, and what was the reactant? Silver plus. What did they already give? E0 cell they already gave, right? Instead of giving E0 cell, what was the E0 cell value? Some 3 point something was there for E0 value, right? Suppose instead of giving E0 value, they have given E0 value of cell, they have not given. Instead they have given E0 value of magnesium, some X, and E0 value of silver, some Y they gave. They did not give you E0 cell value. What did they give? They gave E0 value of magnesium is X, E0 value of silver is Y. Calculate E cell. How will you calculate? Directly can you substitute this value? No. By using these two, you have to first calculate E0 cell for the equation. They are asking you to determine this value, and therefore which formula you have to use is this formula only. But in this formula, the value for E0 cell is not directly given. You have to calculate first. How to calculate? By using these two values which they gave. You will get this answer. Then after substituting, you will get this answer. How to calculate E0 cell? E0 value of magnesium is there, E0 value of silver is there. Who is becoming anode? Silver. Who is becoming cathode? Magnesium. What was the formula of E0 cell for anode and cathode? E0 cathode minus E0 anode. Who is anode here? Who is cathode here? Magnesium. X value minus Y value. You will get some Z value. This Z value is E0 cell value. Write the Z value, this value, substitute, this value you substitute, and then you will get the final answer, right? So now this is another way of asking you to determine cell potential by not giving standard cell potential, instead giving standard electrode potentials of 2 electrode, okay? Now let us go to the next topic. So the next topic for us now is equilibrium constant, which is not much important to calculate all the formulas, but you may have a problem only on equilibrium constant, which is very easy. Direct substitution is there. So now to understand equilibrium constant, let us use the same cell which is of zinc and copper, because we know very well about zinc and copper. Whenever zinc and copper is there, you will always remember that zinc was anode and copper was cathode. So now I made a cell using these two, and the value I was getting for that cell was 1.1 volts, right? Minus 0.76 was for zinc and plus 0.3 was for copper, if you remember. Therefore the final answer which you are getting was for 1.1 volts, right? So this is the cell in which answer is 1.1 volt. This is the cell. Right, this was the cell. The moment I started the cell to work, what happens is slowly zinc from the electrode was getting converted into Zn plus 2, right? and that process will increase as the reaction progresses, right. So, what happens? Zinc ion concentration in the solution increases or decreases? It is a product. So, its concentration in the solution increases. Ion concentration of zinc plus 2 increases in the solution, and ion concentration in the copper plus 2 decreases in the solution, right. Copper is this side, copper plus 2 ion in the solution decreases, zinc is on the other side, zinc ion concentration in the solution increases. So, when that happens, what happens is cell value on the voltmeter, the value initially was 1.1 volt, and as the reaction progresses the value goes on decreasing from 1.1 to 1.09, 08, 07, 06, finally 1, 0.9, 0.8, 0.5, 0.6. Finally, you will come to a point where all the zinc atoms which can possibly oxidize over, all the copper ion concentration which can possibly reduce is over. So, the value becomes 0 volt, cell potential value becomes 0 volt. At that point the cell can no longer work. No further zinc to become Zn plus 2, and so many Zn plus 2 is there in the solution this side. No further copper plus 2 ion to become copper, and there is no copper plus 2 ion in the solution on the other side. Reaction can no longer continue. So, it stops and the voltmeter shows which value? 0. Finally, from 1.1 to 0 volt the cell will stop working. If you want the cell to work again, what you have to do is, you have to give voltage from outside. You have to give voltage from outside, then only the reaction becomes opposite. All the Zn plus 2 goes to zinc and all the copper goes to copper plus 2, reaction becomes opposite. But at that point reaction stopped, and that point is called as equilibrium constant, which is represented as Kc. At that point, at equilibrium constant, what is the value of cell potential? 0 volt. So, now using this value, how to calculate equilibrium constant value is by using the same Nernst equation with a little modification. What was the Nernst equation? Cell potential is equal to standard cell potential minus 0.059 by n. Here n is 2 log of product concentration. Who is the product here? Zn plus 2. And who are the reactants here? Copper plus 2. Because for copper and zinc value was unity, therefore no need to take. This was the Nernst equation generally. But at equilibrium constant, what happens is the cell is no longer giving any reading, it stopped at 0 volt. E0 cell minus same 0.059 by 2 log of these two concentrations are not changing. No Zn to become Zn plus 2. Is it increasing any further? It increased in the beginning, but reached a point where it no longer increases. Increases, at one point it remained same. Goes on decreasing, no further decrease at that point. So, that point is called as equilibrium constant, where there is no increase in the product concentration, there is no decrease in the reactant concentration. That point is called as Kc. But how to determine the value of Kc? Modify the same Nernst equation. E0 cell is equal to, bring all this to the other side, as it was minus, if it goes on the other side it becomes plus 0.059 by 2 log Kc. Shift the remaining except Kc also to E0 cell by 0.059 log is equal to Kc. So you might have another problem in which what will they give? E0 cell they will give, you have to calculate Kc. At equilibrium constant, the standard cell potential value for the given cell is some x. That will be the way of asking you the question. At equilibrium constant, the standard cell potential value for a given cell will be some x. Calculate Kc. What you have to do? Standard cell potential value 2 into x divided by this log. So calculate the value, you will get equilibrium constant answer. This is equilibrium constant, the point at which cell shows 0 reading is called as equilibrium constant. Right? At that point, reactants don't decrease, products don't increase any further, is because for every reaction what you should do is, you are carrying out the reaction to get a product, so product should always increase. It was increasing, but at some point it is no longer increasing. You want your reactant to decrease, then only product will form. It was decreasing, but at that point it is no longer decreasing. That point is called as equilibrium constant. So please copy down the formula and definition also. So now there is another topic in electrochemistry which is called as Gibbs free energy, and it is also related to electrochemical cell, right? Electrochemical cell, just like any other cell, electrochemical cell is also having two compartments, anode and cathode, having two electrodes, two solutions and salt bridge, right? So now if the cell started to work spontaneously, it is working, right? And the other possibility is non-spontaneously. The cell can start to work spontaneously by itself, or if it is not able to start by itself, you have to start by giving energy. Anyhow, the cell can work. Work means work is done by the cell. Work done by the body is there or not, whether by itself or you are making it to work, that is the different story. But the cell is working using its own energy sometimes, or by the energy given by us sometimes. But work has to be done by the cell. Right? Work has to be done by the cell. How much work is done by the cell is calculated by how much energy it is used from itself or how much energy we are supplying. So therefore both of them are related, right? So by connecting both of them, you are able to calculate cell potential if Gibbs energy is given, or Gibbs energy if cell potential is given. Both of them are interconnected, right? So for us to understand their relation, what you should know is cell is working. Sometimes the cell can work spontaneously. If it is working spontaneously, it must have some energy. Without using energy, work cannot be done by the cell, because what you have to remember is this point. Work is done by the cell. To do the work, energy is required. In this case, from where is the energy coming? Whatever energy is stored inside the cell, it is using that energy. Which energy is stored inside the cell? Gibbs free energy. Free energy I am talking, in the name itself it is there. Energy which is inside the cell which is free is called as Gibbs free energy. Right? Suppose you want the cell to work, but the cell does not have its own energy. So what you have to do? you are starting the cell by yourself, which is non-spontaneous, and you have to give voltage or electrical energy. Which energy you have to give? Some form of energy should be there for the cell to work. If it is spontaneous, it is using Gibbs free energy present inside. If it is non-spontaneous, electrical energy given from outside, right? So now in the first case, if the reaction started spontaneously, its free energy will be used. After the cell started working, what happens to its free energy? Will it go on decreasing, or even after using the Gibbs free energy also the energy remains the same? Is it possible? You are not eating but you are continuously working. Even after working, your energy will always be the same without any decrease. Is it possible? No. If you are working without taking energy from outside in the form of you are no longer eating but your work is regular, what happens? You will lose your energy. It decreases, becomes negative. Free energy becomes negative but the work will be done, right? That is the first possibility. The other possibility is you are eating and working. Your free energy will change? No. How much food you are taking, that much work you are doing, right? Voltage is given. Whenever voltage is given from outside, its value is negative, right? But the work done is positive. Work done here or here will be positive. So the relation between them is change in delta G, means change in Gibbs free energy. Whenever for any energy if I write delta, that means earlier how much was there and after the work how much will be there. That difference is called as change in Gibbs free energy, is called as minus. How much work, that many electrons will be lost or gained. As it is electrochemistry, electrons also has to come. How much charge, Faraday's number, and electrode, cell potential, right? Your Gibbs free energy is positive. That means inside energy is not changing. That means is it a spontaneous reaction or a non-spontaneous reaction? You are eating, doing the work, eating, right? Minus means you are giving electrical energy, that means you are eating and doing the work. So inside energy will change? It will not change. So inside energy will be same. That is for non-spontaneous. But if inside energy changes, if inside energy reduces, the work done will be this. This is positive. Spontaneous reaction. If spontaneous reaction takes place, Gibbs free energy reduces and this is positive. If inside energy is not changing at all, work is done, you are giving electrical energy which is negative, then work is done. So these are the two relations between Gibbs free energy and electrochemical cell value or cell potential value. Both of them should be opposite to each other. You cannot have both of them to be positive or both of them to be negative. From outside if you are giving, inside will not change. From outside if you are not giving, inside will be used and it decreases. Both of them has to be. Outside what you are giving is negative, inside what is already there is positive. If that reduces, it becomes negative and this becomes positive. This is the relation between Gibbs free energy, right? So in the question they may simply give you cell potential value, or they may not give the cell potential value, they may give you standard cell potential value. From that calculate cell potential, substitute in this formula and calculate Gibbs free energy. It is very simple. You have to understand which formula is the final formula. To get the final formula you need this. How to get this? Use this one, calculate the other and then substitute, right? Or they may give you Gibbs free energy, which is in terms of negative. Simply substitution, you will get the final answer. But you remember always, if Gibbs free energy is in minus or it is less, the reaction is spontaneous reaction starting by itself. If Gibbs free energy is positive, the reaction is non-spontaneous reaction, not starting by itself. You have to externally give current or electricity, and it is non-spontaneous. This is the relation between both. Okay? Please copy and let us go to the next topic called batteries. The next topic in electrochemistry is batteries, and it's nothing but till now whatever we have seen in electrochemistry, you have to apply that by taking any two combinations, make it to start working and used in our daily life. That is nothing but a battery. Application of electrochemistry, applying electrochemistry in our daily life is called as battery. So, what is that? That is not the definition. I am explaining you what battery is. Its definition is when two or more cells, because for our daily life usage, you cannot have 1 molar concentration of zinc, 1 molar concentration of zinc sulfate. Can you have that much concentrations? No, it has to be more in quantities. Therefore, to get that much quantity of voltage which you want in our usage, you cannot use only 1 cell or 2 cells. Its quantity has to be more. So, to increase the quantities, small cells, small cells, you have to take more in quantities, or the electrode itself quantity has to be more, or the solution itself, its quantity has to be more, right? So, that definition is nothing but this way. When two or more cells are connected in series, means they are side by side or they are more in quantity in series, it is called as battery. When two or more cells are connected in series, it is called as battery, right? So, battery is used in our daily life. You might be knowing many examples. Some batteries can be used for many years by regularly charging and using. After use, it becomes discharged, you have to use it, you can recharge it again and then start using again. So many times it can be recharged and used, right? It is multi-usage batteries, and there are other batteries which has to be disposed of the moment it stopped working, right? That type of batteries are also there. So, depending on their ability to reuse, is present for some batteries and it is absent for some batteries. You are having two types of batteries. One is the primary battery, other is the secondary battery. When you come to primary battery, once its capacity to use is over, you have to be disposed. It has to be disposed of after single use. That what does that mean? It means that you cannot recharge the battery again after a single use. Cannot be recharged again. That batteries are examples of primary battery, right? Can you give examples? There are many examples in our everyday life. One such example is normal pencil battery, which is also called as dry cell, or the other example is modification of the dry cell, which is larger in size, right? Coming to the secondary cell, the speciality of secondary cell is the moment it stopped working, means its capacity is over, you no longer has to dispose it of, you can recharge the battery and start using them again. can be recharged for multiple use. Once all the energy of the battery is over, if you give electrical energy from outside, the cell becomes ready to use again. Then it started working, then its energy becomes 0, then you have to give electrical energy from outside, again it becomes regenerated or recharged, and again it can be used. The lifespan of the battery is more for secondary battery and it is less for primary battery. Only one time voltage is given for this, and there is no small shelf life for secondary battery. Example is inverters which has lead acid battery or nickel cadmium battery, or you can also write the example of a battery present in our mobile phones. Which battery is present in our mobile phones? You look at the back of the battery, you will find the name written as lithium ion cell. That is also an example of secondary battery, because we are using the battery of a mobile phone after many times of recharging, right? That is lithium ion cell. These are the examples of primary batteries and secondary batteries. Okay, let us continue in the next class. Thank you.